If you like old rock magazines like Circus, Hit Parader, you know, the kind of thing I'm talking about, you're going to love the video I have for you today. You know, this channel is a little bit like Christmas every single day for me. So we some time ago started doing these little videos where we took some old circus magazines and started flipping through them, and we got so much response to that. And then last week, we did a video where we opened up some packages of a bunch of records that we ordered that we're going to make some videos about, and we got a lot of great response to that too. So we did something else. We got on eBay and we found somebody selling a whole bunch of old Circus, I think Hit Parader, I can't even remember what they were, just magazines. And they just arrived. And I thought, you know what? Let's try doing that also on camera today and let you kind of experience this, opening up this box and looking at all these different Hit Parader and Circus magazines that we're going to make videos about here in the near future, but we thought you'd like to kind of get a preview of what we've got here. And also, before I do, just one thing. I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who continues to watch these videos, to comment, to like, to share these things. It's been so amazing watching this channel grow, watching the kind of community, almost fraternity that this is building of all these people that have all these experiences and remember all these things together from back in the 70s, 80s, 90s. And so we've got so many other things that we're in the process of working on. We've got new people we're planning on bringing in. I mean, it's going to be really, really cool. I'm so excited about the future. And again, thank you so much for interacting, for supporting this channel, for being a part of it. We really, really appreciate it. Okay, so I'm going to bust this open, and I'm excited about this to see what it was that we ended up with here. Try not to chop my hands off in the process. Okay. We have a little thank you from whoever you ordered this from. Okay, I'm going to scoot this off to the side and then take these out one by one so you can see them. And we'll actually take the time in another video where we'll actually go through these things. Okay, so we have a... What did they... I don't think I ever bought one of these. I guess you just called it RIP. R.I.P. magazine. And we'll just we'll take this out and look at at least look at the front and the back. And then, like I said, we're going to actually make some videos where we go through these things. So, of course, we got David Coverdale there. This is, the date on this one is... Where is the date on here? Oh, 1988. There you go. February of 1988, and it says Canada. So I don't think I ever owned a RIP magazine before. So it has Dee Snider, Armored Saint, White Saints, David Coverdale, Shaghead, or just plain sweet guy. How interesting. Great White, Motorhead, and Rush. 96 pages of full-color Metal Mania, Stoked. And on the back, Exodus. Very cool. Okay, and also, if you remember any of these bands, put it down in the notes. And if there's any of these in particular that you'd like us to get to first, because we don't do these magazines every single day. We don't flip through them every day. But any of these you'd like us to go through first, let me know. And if we get a consensus, maybe we'll do that here. Oh, cool skateboard photos too. Okay. All right, this is going to be cool. All right, next one. There's a whole bunch of them in here. I can't remember how many it was that were in this lot, but it was a bunch. All right. So this one, we have a Hit Parader. And this one, there's Ozzy, of course. Ozzy Osbourne and Randy Rhoads, The Inside Story, June 1987. Okay. This is years after he was gone, and this is probably, I don't remember when the album Tribute came out. That was the album that Ozzy put out later. That was the live concert of him with Randy Rhoads. Bon Jovi, Judas Priest, Dokken, Deep Purple, Megadeth, Stryper, Dio, Mötley Crüe, Cinderella, Lita Ford, Ace Frehley, and Tesla. Wow, this is awesome. Stryper. Did you ever like Stryper? I actually saw them in concert a couple times. They were, I noticed that of all these, we've talked about most of these on the channel, but I don't think we've ever talked about them. I know we had a Cinderella. Of course, we talk about Ace Frehley all the time. Actually, we've never done a video on Tesla either. I saw them opening up for Def Leppard on the Hysteria tour. Kiss Exposed. I think I remember this was a video. I think I saw this long time ago. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Warning, disgusting. That's great. Okay, next one. This is one of the funnest days of my life, in case you were wondering. I love this stuff so much. Whoever did this packed these in here really, really well for us. Okay, so this is another Hit Parader. This is March of 1988. So you've got a little Def Leppard there. Life at the Top. Yeah, so this is Hysteria time period. And man, they were huge during Hysteria. Of course, I've talked about it before on this channel. It's not my favorite Def Leppard album, but you can't deny that it was huge. My favorite one, in case you were wondering, because I've talked about it a few times, is High and Dry. That one, Pyromania is a close second, but High and Dry was just so great. Man, these were $2.50, March of 1988. Stryper again. Metallica, Kiss, Wasp, Rush, Poison, Bon Jovi, Megadeth. That was one of the albums. If you haven't watched the album unboxing we did last week, one of them was Megadeth. And we're going to be doing a video on them soon. Aerosmith, Whitesnake, Guns N' Roses. Then on the back, Mega Muscle, DOD pedals. It's pretty interesting on these, when you go back and look at these magazines, how much of the advertising, first of all, these things are filled with ads, but how much of it is for guitar gear. Yeah, look at this. Look at all that cool stuff. Okay, this one's going to be fun to flip through. I'm excited about that. Okay, let's get another one. This is crazy fun. Okay, look at this. It says Heavy Metal Hot Shots. This is November of 1986. Of course, David Lee Roth is into his solo career by then. Ozzy Osbourne. Mötley Crüe. Iron Maiden, Deep Purple, Wasp, Dokken, Keel. I saw Wasp open up for, I think I saw them opening for Kiss. Long time ago. I'm pretty sure it was Kiss. Dokken, Keel. I really wanted to like Keel. I think I've talked about them before on this channel. Queensrÿche, Motorhead. We've talked about Queensrÿche a bit. Motorhead. Rat, AC/DC. Loudness. Remember Loudness? I have several Loudness albums. I really liked Loudness. They were just, there was something so cool about it. And Akira Takasaki, the guitarist, was just, he was really good. I saw them in concert, and I saw them at Red Rocks in Denver, and I don't remember if they were opening for somebody, but I think they were playing with TNT. Remember TNT? I think I saw them with them that night. Grim Reaper, Def Leppard, Scorpions, Accept, Crocus, Anthrax, and Kiss. Oh my gosh, this is going to be a fun one too. What is this? You got Yngwie Malmsteen there. There's a Motorhead, a little shot at Lemmy right there. And then Stephen Pearcy from Rat. Little fold-out poster in the back. Heavy Metal Hot Shots. Rat, Stephen Pearcy. And there's Rob Halford. Okay, this is going to be cool. That'll be a fun one. You having fun yet? This is going to be a blast going through these things. Okay, so this one, Rolling Stone magazine with Eddie Van Halen, 100 Greatest Guitarists of All Time. Ooh! This will be fun to flip through. This one, when did this come out? Oh, this is pretty new. This is actually a pretty new magazine. Well, we'll take a look at this. Usually the stuff we do on this channel goes back, way, way back. But it looks like already you can see that the people they're putting on here as the best guitarists are all this stuff goes way, way back. I mean, there's Jeff Beck, there's Jimmy Page, there's, oh my gosh, Jerry Garcia. I can't believe I forgot his name there for a second. Pete Townsend. I mean, yeah, and this is all a lot of old school stuff. The definitive list of rock's greatest guitarists. And it's funny, you don't appreciate, I don't know that people appreciate just how great and inventive the Edge was for U2. You know, I was always really into heavy metal when I was a kid, but when I really discovered U2, I came to appreciate just how amazing and inventive he was. And, you know, Unforgettable Fire, probably my favorite album that those guys ever did. And I ended up buying just everything I could get my hands on of U2 because he was just so interesting what he would do. And he wasn't some like technically proficient, you know, speed demon kind of guitar player. He just knew how to take that instrument. Actually, listen to Bruce Springsteen when I think they inducted him into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, where he talks about Edge's guitar playing and what it was like, and it's really true. So anyway, this will be kind of a fun one to flip through and talk about these different guitar players. Okay, this video is going on for a while. We may have to do a part 2. Okay, another one. Circus. Second annual Rock and Roll Encyclopedia. Look at this. Complete guide to who's who in rock. Mötley Crüe, Whitesnake, Def Leppard, Bon Jovi, Europe, Poison, Cinderella. We did a video on Europe recently, and I was actually kind of surprised at the response that we got on that video, that there were so many people that responded to it. Because I honestly, I mean, I bought the album, and I bought Final Countdown. I bought the album that was right before that. And I don't know, I thought they were okay. I didn't love them, but it's amazing. They have a clearly very dedicated following out there that really, really love them. And so it was interesting because we get so much interaction on this channel. It forced me to go listen to a lot more Europe stuff that I'd never heard before. It was kind of interesting experiencing that. So Poison, Cinderella, Dokken, Rat, Ozzy, man, Kiss, Scorpions, Lita Ford, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Megadeth, and more. Over 100 photos. The bands that rocked the world. So wait a second, what did I say this was? March of 1988. So, okay, this is pretty interesting here. Rock and Roll Encyclopedia. And then on the back there, check this out. This is so interesting because, of course, Rudy Sarzo is looking a bit blonde right there. But Adrian Vandenberg, it was so interesting when he ended up, playing with Whitesnake. Because Adrian Vandenberg had actually had a band called Vandenberg. And they put out, I think, 3 albums, and I have all 3 of them. And he was a pretty good guitar player, but I actually saw Vandenberg, the band Vandenberg, open up for Kiss back on the Lick It Up tour. He was a good player, and also extremely tall. So, all right. Hear that saw? One of our neighbors is clearly making a little bit of noise right now. Okay, what's this one? Hit Parader, annual 1987. Obviously, that's Vince Neil there. Okay, let's see here. So Hit Parader, 87, Mötley Crüe, Ozzy Osbourne Centerfold, annual 87, Twisted Sister, Iron Maiden, Metallica, Rat, AC/DC, Kiss, Def Leppard. Look at all these names. Michael Schenker, that's somebody we have not done a video on at all. London, that's interesting to hear London, because London, wasn't that Nikki Sixx's band before Mötley Crüe? I didn't know they were still like a band at this point. This was, 87, September of 87. Wasp, Stryper, there's Stryper again. Aerosmith, Poison, Whitesnake, Alice Cooper, Tesla, Queensrÿche, Ace Frehley, and Slayer. Wow. So if it was 87, this would have been, for Mötley Crüe, this would have been Girls, Girls, Girls time period roughly. So, okay. How interesting. Let's flip this over. And there you have, oh wow, Epiphone. Epiphone guitars looking a lot like a Jackson right there. It actually even has the same inlays. Exotic, electronic marvel. That is so interesting. Have you ever seen that? I've never seen those inlays. That's kind of a traditional kind of Jackson inlay. And you've got it on an Epiphone of all things. That is really, really interesting. Okay. All right, let's do Let's do one more. Then because the video's getting kind of long, and then we'll cut it and we'll pick this up on another video. Okay, check this one out. Hit Parader. And who do we have here? We have Dokken. Dokken at Feud's End. This is so funny. We did a video on Dokken not long ago, and it's so interesting looking back at these guys. What was the deal? They had they were so, I loved them. Tooth and Nail was such a spectacular album. I mean, it was like they were just banging on all cylinders. They had so many great tunes. Then Under Lock and Key after that. Just so many great tunes. And it was produced well. It sounded good. George Lynch is such a great guitar player. And between these two guys, I don't know what it was, but they just made really great music. And they just couldn't keep it together. Such a strange thing. Look at this. So they both are, I mean, everybody knew it too. Everybody knew, and I've heard people say, oh, it was all kind of a, publicity thing. And I don't know. I mean, because they really did break up, and and even to this day, they seem like there's all kinds of issues. So I don't know, maybe, but they were pretty convincing because they kind of killed their careers in many ways, it seems, because of that feud. But man, I love George Lynch. He was such a great guitar player. The stuff that he did was so tasty, and just the right stuff. Not only was he technically proficient, but the stuff that he put together for the music that they would write was just so good. It was so excellent. So make your day, enter the LA Guns Double Barrel Contest. How interesting. Let's see. So we have Def Leppard, Metallica, AC/DC, Mötley Crüe, Kiss, Poison, Van Halen, Whitesnake, and a David Lee Roth centerfold. So this is April of 1988 Hit Parader, and let's look at the back. Aha! Skyscraper. So I've got this one in the other room too. It's interesting watching David Lee Roth's solo career. It was, man, that time when David Lee Roth went his separate way and Van Halen, and they were on top. And I don't know, I still, the David Lee Roth Van Halen stuff, I just don't think you can beat it. And he made a good run of it. But I don't know, some of these people, you get the impression that David Lee Roth just really started believing that he was the reason that Van Halen was successful, and it wasn't him, but it also wasn't them. It was that group. For some reason, you got those four guys together, and it was the perfect formula for whatever reason, and it just made this amazing thing. And it just didn't really exist the same way. And so even though he was maybe the greatest, front man ever, it wasn't the same without the music and the band and Eddie's songwriting and the formula that they all had together. So I don't know. Anyway, it's just an interesting conversation to have. And I know that there's a lot of people very passionate about that. And we get those comments on this channel. And so I'm just let's wrap it up there. Let's take a quick look at these again. And if there's any of these that you'd like us to jump into sooner than another, just say so in the comments. So we have a Hit Parader from April of 1988. This is the one that has Dokken on the cover. We've got another Hit Parader with Mötley Crüe. Of course, there's Vince Neil. And then you've got Bon Jovi, Judas Priest, Cinderella right there. We got this one. We've got a Circus. Circus is the one that I used to get when I was a kid. That was the one that I spent most of my time with. So I don't know that I ever bought any Hit Paraders when I was younger, but it's as an old man now, it's actually pretty fun to look at these things and do these little videos. So we have Circus Magazine right there. This one is going to be interesting. Like I said, we usually spend time in the old stuff, but this will be kind of interesting to talk about the 100 greatest guitarists of all time and see what Rolling Stone did with this. It'd be worth taking a little bit of time, making a little video about that. Next one, we have Hit Parader's Heavy Metal Hot Shots. David Lee Roth. This is when, look at that teased hair on Ozzy. Oh my gosh, that's so funny looking at this. And then, the Mötley Crüe at this point. That was so interesting. Okay, then we have another Hit Parader here with Def Leppard, and you see all the other bands there. Joe Elliott's on the cover. Let's see, we had a couple more here. And then we had another hit parader here that was Ozzy. Oh yeah, this one. This one's going to be interesting because we've done quite a few videos on this channel where we talk about Ozzy and Randy Rhoads and Quiet Riot and the early LA scene. And it's such a fascinating story, what happened with Randy Rhoads and him joining Ozzy. And then of course the plane crash and, all the different things surrounding that. The stories are just so interesting. And Ozzy starting a solo career, would his solo career have done anything if it wasn't for meeting Randy Rhoads? And then he, as far as Ozzy goes, started this kind of this revolving door of these incredible guitar players. Then ultimately we ended up with Zach, who stayed with him probably obviously longer than anybody else, who was just amazing. But everybody looks back and goes, yeah, but Randy, he's a guy that he was really, really something special. And so it's such an interesting person and time to talk about. And then this was the very first one we looked at, RIP magazine, something I'd definitely never bought one of these. And so this will actually be really, really fun. And Anthrax, I didn't even notice this, but I saw them, I think I saw them open for Kiss once too. It's so funny, all these concerts get kind of jumbled in my mind now, who I saw with what, when, and so anyway, these will be pretty interesting. So down in the notes, any of these in particular you'd like us to do a little flip through on that we normally do. And then of course we'll look for any articles that we think are particularly interesting and make videos about those as well. And like I said at the beginning, again, I want to just say thank you so much for supporting this channel, for watching these videos, for taking the time to share them with other people, for leaving your comments down below, the stories and things that people tell and the interesting insights. And I tell you, I like to think I know a lot of stuff, but the more I listen and the more I read the comments that people have every single day, I learn things. People put things down in the notes and I go, I don't know how I lived my whole life and I didn't know that. And then people will bring those up. So I personally appreciate all those things that people put down in the notes, just the little stuff that we kind of assume that everybody just should know, but then not everybody does. And it seems like something so obvious, but we were teenagers when all this stuff was happening and we didn't pick everything up. And since then, we don't learn everything. So it is fascinating hearing some of these stories that we just didn't pick up on at the time. So anyway, so I really, really appreciate all the notes that you guys leave down in the comments, because it does kind of enhance what we're doing here. It adds this extra life to it and this extra level of intrigue, all the different cool things that people write and all the notes. And we've had so many people reach out on our website and other things about how they can help the channel and getting involved. And one of the biggest things you can do, obviously, is take any of these videos and just go share them on your social media somewhere. Because if you're interested in this stuff, you probably know other people that are too, and we really appreciate you taking the time to share those things. So anyway, put it down in the notes if there's any you want us to jump on sooner than later, and we'll take a look at that stuff, see what people have to say, and with that, have yourself a fantastic day. Come back for part 2.